accounting. Oh, wow. Thanks, everybody. Welcome back. This is Accounting Man coming at you live from our Meta area schools. This is chapter 1. We're creating a chart of accounts, which is like a table of contents for all of your ledgers. We have done the first 3, so you can do the first 3 at home by yourself. The next asset that we're going to label is what? Give me an asset. Insurance, prepaid insurance. So let's just number it with the next available page, quote unquote, chapter 1 assets, page 4, prepaid insurance. So anything that has to do with insurance, whether we bought it, whether we used it, whether it expired, it would be posted to that account, that ledger page. The next asset account, let's see, we did all those. Expense, insurance, drawing, cash, sales, supplies, expense. What's the next asset account we want to do? Supplies. 150. Supplies. This is the account that you would use if you were going to throw a party for someone and they didn't know it, but you were going to have lots of paper clips and staples. A supplies party. Supplies. They walk in and you just throw staplers at them. Supplies. And then you take them to the hospital. Sorry about that. Supplies. Supplies expense. I guess that's when the printer hits them.
Surprise.
Oh boy. All right.
Well, I didn't really put a party.
Supplies. Oh man, classic. All right, chapter 2. So we did all of the assets. Chapter 2 is the liability accounts. So let's title it liabilities, and we'll label it 2. So a liability is when somebody else owns the financial rights to one of your assets, also known as when you owe somebody money for something that you bought and have not paid for. Those are account payables. So what are my 2 account payables? Sharer supplies and Mid-City supplies. We're stocking up for the supplies party. So 210 accounts payable, shearer supplies. Is that like supplies for someone that shears sheep?
Stop.
But don't unsubscribe. I need you. All right. So shearer supplies, where you buy all of your clippers and bags for the sheep. And then Mid-City supplies is the next one. I know. Mid-City supplies. I don't have a Mid-City joke. And that concludes chapter 2. If you had more account payables, you would put them as 230, 240, 250, et cetera, et cetera. Yes. Why? You don't like that? All right, fine. Watch this. Watch this, hot shot. The next one is going to be chapter 3. Chapter 3 is where our owner capital or our owner accounts come into play. So chapter 3, those are going to be our 300s, and we'll call it owner equity. And these are the 300s. So our owner equity accounts are anything that involve the owner's name and then also income summary, which I don't know why they throw that in here, but so let's find anything that involves the owner's name. Clara Ross Drawing, and Clara Ross Capital. We're going to start with Capital. They usually make Capital 310 and then Drawing 320. So 310, and it is Clara Ross
I think that looks worse.
Capital. How you like that, Josh? Huh? I mean, student in the class who's now YouTube famous. It's pretty good.
Try not to give any clouds.
So, all right, yeah, maybe I'll go back to regular writing. And then 320, you could say my penmanship is a real liability. Got him.
The people at home with the headphones, if you they're like,
Yeah, they hear the like, my ears. So the 6 people watching this ever. Yeah, who was it?
Someone walking around watching.
Yeah. Oopsie daisy. Clara Ross
Like I did that the first day of school.
Drawing.
like Christmas year.
It wasn't this year. Was it in the wrong class?
You guys should do that now and just go sit down. Just like walk into Bro's class and sit down in the back and then just see what happens. Walk into Becker's class, just sit down. Be like, wait, what hour is this? And then just run. All right, chapter 4. Chapter 4 is called sales. Actually, they call it revenue. So we're going to put that over on the right side. It is separate from, if you remember, this is the ALO side, assets, liabilities, owner equity. And now we're going to put revenue as chapter 4. Revenue. Sound it out. Use your words. Revenue is 400, also known as chapter 4 is what I'm calling it. And then sales is 410. That is currently our only revenue account. Later, we're going to cook in some more revenue accounts, but for now, sales is the only way that we're going to make revenue for Ross Company. The last chapter, quote unquote, is chapter 5. We're going to call it expenses. That is correct, sir. Later, if you're running a business that makes like sales but also does like lessons or also does repairs, those would be considered sales or revenue. Like think about a music shop, KO Music, right? You can go in there, you can buy something, that's a sale. You can go in there and have your guitar repaired, that is a sale. Or you can go in there and get a lesson, that is a sale or a service. Okay? But for this, you can account on that. For this company, salas or sales is the only one. Salas. Now, expenses. Chapter 5. They ask you, please arrange expense accounts in alphabetical order. This is where you all pull out your alphabet line. Goes A, B, C, D. So let's look at all of our expenses. We got a MISC, we got insurance, we got supplies, automobile, and rent. What's going to be my first one? Automobile. Good. So Z, Y, X, W, U, V, V, U, T, S.
You still got the rhythm with it though?
Yeah, I don't think that's a good way to do it.
Z-Y-X-W.
They say like if you're having trouble going to sleep, if you try to say the alphabet backwards in your head, it hits a different part of your brain. It turns off like the, oh, I don't know what I'm going to wear tomorrow. Oh, I'm worried about, whatever. And then you just, yeah, then you fall asleep. Or you can bring an accounting book home and read it until you fall asleep. So you'd be on page 1, Claudia. Sorry, Claudia Bellini as Gilbertson. My bad. What?
Tiger.
Yeah. She's like, what? How dare you? All right. So we have automobile expense is the first one. I'm going to abbreviate expense as EXP just for, I would say to save time, but probably doesn't save that much time. Yeah, I know. I go off on a tangent about falling asleep, but then I save time by not writing like 4 letters. All right. So automobile expenses first. What's going to be my next expense? Insurance. What? What? Yeah, I know. $520. Insurance. Expense. So that's $520. $530. We have rent expense, supplies, and miscellaneous left. What's going to be next? $530. Miscellaneous expense. I'm going to abbreviate miscellaneous because I don't know how to spell it. That was a joke, but also with shades of truth.
Go back. I know, you don't gotta switch on camera.
Well, no, I'm trying to show everybody like the actual work in the thingy.
They should have their own account.
It's true. They're sleep aid, we call it. Sleep aid. So that is, oh my gosh, we're running out of time. It is, so that's 5:30. Next one. Hooray. Next one is, let's see. What do we got? Rent and supplies. What's coming next? Rent. Rent expense. $550. Supplies expense. Okay. Now look at number 2 real quick. Add 2 new accounts, postage and utilities. They're going to be added to the chart. Assign them new numbers. So we got to keep them in alphabetical order. So postage expense. Where is postage expense going to fit in? Between what and what? Good. So between miscellaneous and rent, we're going to split the difference. We'll call it $535. Postage. Sorry. And then don't worry, you can just watch this later at your leisure. If you hadn't made me write in cursive for like 20 minutes, we'd have been done by now. Today. Today. At the end of school. And then utilities expense. That's going to fit in as $560. And then the very last thing says, open an account for cash. So down here at the ledger, account is called cash. And the account number is, we look back at our chart of our accounts, 110. 110. Pow. That is exactly how yours should look, except for the cursive. We created 2 new expense accounts. One fell in between numbers we already had. One fell at the end. Then we opened a cash account ledger, cash account 110. If we were to open ACREC Tyler Link, it'd be ACREC 120. Okay? All right, YouTube, make sure to smash that retweet button. I love y'all. Peace.